Hello and welcome to Unity News. I'm Brandy Lacon.
And I'm Morgan Aguilar. Thank you for joining us. Well, you've probably already heard the story. It's been all over Twitter. At an NAHJ board meeting, a Unity News reporter was asked to stop tweeting. Alana Otler looks at why and what happened.
It happened Tuesday at a routine board meeting for NAHJ. Unity News student Nadia Khan was assigned to live tweet the session. NAHJ President Michelle Salcedo told her she couldn't.
Nadia Khan, I'm one of the students for the student projects.
Okay, you are aware that we have a no tweeting policy.
Okay.
Or a no filming policy.
Sorry?
No filming.
The NAHJ president told her she couldn't report on the proceedings, essentially kicking her and a photographer out.
Joe?
Let me leave?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
It's just ironic that, I came here for a learning experience to, learn everything about journalism, the industry, and hands-on experience, and being kicked out of an actual journalism meeting. It's just very disappointing.
I tried to talk to the president, but she just brushed past us in the hallway and off camera told me that all of our actions were unethical.
This is an unauthorized interview. I have not authorized this show.
Would you even want to say that about the ethics, about how...
Would you please stop recording me?
Salcedo told Unity News off camera that an attorney advised the board not to allow live reporting. One of the board's vice presidents referred to it as consultant's advice.
Part of the reasons why we release only a little bit of information is due to legal issues, because we're a nonprofit, and if you release too much information, technically you could be sued, and that's what our consultants told us. That's why we don't like live cast meetings or whatever.
2 days later, at NAHJ's general meeting, leaders admitted there are no bylaws banning tweeting in open sessions. Some members demanded a change in the Twitter policy, but NAHJ has made no promises.
To send a message to the students that they're not allowed or that they're going to receive backlash from the people who should be embracing them, that's horrible. I really wish that NAHJ would be able to end this drama because frankly all we've been talking about since I've been here has been all the drama in NAHJ when we could actually be focusing on getting jobs for people, getting training for people.
While Khan didn't get to tweet the meeting, she sure walked away from it with some valuable experience.
A lot of people have said, I'm sorry that you had to go through this, but honestly, there's nothing to be sorry about. I really like this whole entire experience.
What was the biggest lesson you learned from this experience?
Don't be intimidated. If they kick you out of a meeting, you don't have to leave. Who are they to kick you out? Why are they kicking you out? Find out all the reasons.
Alana Otler, Unity News.
Polls for NAHJ elections close Friday at 5 p.m.
And the National Organization of Black Journalists is not a part of this year's Unity Conference. This has caused some mixed emotions by members of different organizations. Some have even questioned whether homophobia was a factor. NABJ's president strongly rejects this notion.
To say that is inaccurate for our organization. I will also say that for those who, say that NABJ is homophobic in terms of LGJA being part of Unity, that's not an issue for me. The issue for me is that there's no diversity in LGJA. So before they come to my organization and say that we're homophobic, they need to look in the mirror and look at their leadership team.
Unity News reporter Emily Goldblum will have the full report on tomorrow's newscast. You can read the full article on unitynews.org.
Well, social media is changing the world we live in, and at this year's Unity Conference, they're holding a few workshops on just that. Social media sites like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Google+, just to name a few, have become the new way to find out the latest on what's going on around the world.
Las Vegas is the city of lights, gambling, and pleasure, and to some, they lose track of reality. But what few people know about is the world's beneath the Strip. Jessica Savage went on a journey through the tunnels of Vegas.
Las Vegas draws millions of tourists every year, and as they line up to take a picture with the famous welcome sign, little do they know there's a world that lies beneath their feet, literally. Other than the airplanes and occasional cars,
inside it's quiet. You can't hear all this.
Jody Alger and her boyfriend Eddie called this place home for more than 8 years. They are part of a growing underground society where the homeless in Las Vegas seek refuge in the city's flood tunnels.
We just inched our way down railroad tracks until we got here. We found our tunnel.
However, Alger wasn't this happy when she initially became homeless when her ex-husband kicked her out of their home.
Just get drunk, hit me. I don't really like to talk about it, so.
But that's when she met her now boyfriend, Eddie Modino, who she is currently living in a motel with.
Well, we have a nice king-size bed. You know, you'll see, it's a nice room. It was comfortable.
Even though it's home, old habits are hard to break, and she still keeps watch as if she were in the tunnels.
Because I don't know if somebody in there, you know, you never know. No, I never had a problem, but just be cautious.
You would never know they were homeless, showering and doing laundry at gas stations and saving what little money they made.
Yeah, I'd probably get like $18 for the cans a day.
Alger, who turns 50 this year, doesn't look back, and other than the occasional visits to her former tunnel, where her friend George is now living, she's only looking to the future.
We eventually want to save for a house. We're going to try to get a house while the market's still good.
The number of homeless teens in Vegas is a major concern. In northern Las Vegas, in Clark County, it is estimated that nearly 6,000 children were homeless by June of this year. Community activists in the area have organized outreach programs to try and help these homeless kids and put an end to the problem.
Well, just 12 days after the theater shooting in Aurora, Colorado, Democratic lawmakers are proposing a bill that would ban online ammunition sales. I take a look at the gun law debate that sparked in Colorado after the shooting. A great American pastime for some, but a much more serious topic for others. Following the theater shooting in Aurora that claimed 12 and injured 58, gun laws are once again a hot topic of discussion. Could more restrictive gun laws prevent these mass shootings?
When trying to isolate what happened, lots of other people have AR-15s and pistols and shotguns, hundreds of millions of them. The difference with this guy was he was nuts.
A gun store owner for about 20 years, Bob Irwin has witnessed this debate take place repeatedly, but he's not changing his mind.
I don't think we should outlaw things because we don't think, we being the government, think people don't need them.
Colorado gun sales went up 40% in the weeks following the Aurora shooting, and they've also gone up here in Nevada. President Obama maintains that the ban on the sale of assault weapons should be reinstated. This restriction used to be in place but expired in 2004. He also says that despite the recent heated arguments, gun laws will not become a main topic in this year's election. The bill proposed by the Democratic lawmakers would include a requirement for ammunition dealers to report bulk ammo sales to law enforcement.
It's kind of nerve-wracking, but you have the chance to meet a possible employer. One of the highlights of the Unity Convention is the job fair. Here, attendees get the chance to talk to employers from around the country. They can show them their portfolios and demo reels.
I just graduated from college in June, and I'm looking for my first on-air job for the first time. So I'm looking for entry-level positions at small market jobs.
We're always recruiting for good talent for our mobile and to provide weather information for our television stations that we do business with.
And speaking about jobs, Unity held a workshop on how to land that first gig. A group of panelists spoke to attendees about getting their foot in the door in the career that they wanted. Here are some tips experts shared with us.
I would also encourage you to not just think about just your resume, cover letter as separate elements, and your social media as separate elements, but see how it all comes together. You're telling a story, a personal story.
Mandalay Bay is home to various conventions. Not only is it holding this year's Unity Conference, but the Deaf Nation World Expo took place this week. I got the chance to talk to various people to figure out what it means to be a part of the deaf culture.
Sign language. It's not just the way the deaf communicate, it's part of the deaf culture. Movements and facial expressions show their thoughts and emotions just like everyone else, even though you may not understand what they are saying.
Well, deaf culture is its own culture. You know, they have their own love, they have their own culture, their own language, different from a hearing culture. And we call it a culture because sign language is not a spoken language, obviously. It's signed because the deaf people can't speak. So the language is very much enthralled with our culture.
As you see deaf people interacting, you may not know what they are saying, but you do sense their emotions. The Deaf Nation World Expo here at the Mandalay Bay, right next door to the Unity Convention, unites 30,000 people from around the world every year. And you can see the enthusiasm in their faces and in their signs.
You know, when you're hearing, you can make friends with your neighbors and talk to them all the time, but deaf people don't always have that opportunity because they live remotely. So this time for everyone to get together, have access to communication, is just awesome, and that's why this Deaf Nation Expo is so amazing.
Simple things like getting a cup of coffee can be frustrating with the language barrier, but one local barista says he's going out of his way to make them more comfortable.
I feel maybe everyday life, you know, he doesn't have the trouble of writing on paper and everything, but when they realize someone's actually trying to talk to them like that, or I say like, hold on, like this to you, and then they realize, oh wow, this guy's actually trying to talk to me, so then they feel more comfortable, they start laughing, smiling more, and feel more at ease.
He learned quite a bit.
How are you? And then from that, people start seeing only fine.
Or maybe too much.
If people get the wrong impression that I know sign language, or they start talking more in it, I'm like, oh no, that's all I know, that's all I know.
With the help of my cell phone, I asked one couple what they thought about the extra effort at Starbucks. I didn't quite understand the first part of her answer, but some expressions are universal.
Thank you.
You can read more about the Deaf Nation at unitynews.org. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight.
We invite you to tune in tomorrow. Have a good evening.